What's going on, guys? TKD with a video, and today I want to talk about the Infinite Warfare beta, the elephant in the room, if you will. Now, I have put hours on this game throughout this weekend, and I have put a lot of time into this game only because I want to make sure that I go into this impressions video with a clear mind and clear understanding of the game overall, right? So I've been kind of avoiding other people's impressions on this game. I know it's getting a lot of hate, and I know that from Twitter, but I just been kind of avoiding any other, YouTubers that are talking about it. I just want to focus on how I feel about the game, right? So I have sunk in, I want to say, around 6 to 7 hours into the game. That could be wrong, give or take, but it is a majority, it is a pretty, I put in a lot of hours in this game. I have a very, well understanding of the game so far. So here is my impressions. And this will be done professionally, with no BS. So, I got some notes, people. You hear the paper in the video. I got some notes to read off to people that I took over my weekend with Infinite Warfare, the beta. And I got 10 items on the list, starting at number 1. I liked the game more over time. Now, this is something that I wasn't expecting to happen because it wasn't at first, right? When I first got into the beta, I did not like it initially. I did not like my first few matches. I was having a rough time adapting. It just felt weird. The whole game kind of feels weird, and this will be a overall kind of trend going on with this video. I just feel like when I first got into the game, it felt very alien to me. It was very weird. Like, it was Call of Duty. I could feel Call of Duty, but it just felt really, really weird. And at first, I really did not like it. But then, after a lot of hours into it, I started to, warm up to the game. And I really, do, enjoy the game to a degree. Now, I say that lightly, to a degree, right? I'm still pretty much iffy about the game. But overall, I did feel that it got better over time. And going on to number 2, it is the time to kill. Now, in my opinion, the time to kill in this game is a little bit too fast for my comfort, okay? It is just, but I will say it is almost there. It is almost at that sweet spot where I like it at, for me. But I feel like, I'm pretty much, with everyone else in this. I feel like I've been seeing that a lot in tweets and all that about how the time to kill is just a little bit too fast, and if they can just slow it down just a little bit, just a tad bit, nothing crazy, just a little bit, down, then I feel like we would get a better overall experience. But that's just how I feel about it. TTK, a little bit too fast for my comfort. And number 3 on the list, something that I am pretty mad about, and that is sniping. Now, sniping is back in this game. It's very prominent. It is, you see it in every match again. I forgot how this used to be. I forgot, because in Black Ops 3, not many people sniped, and just I haven't seen sniping this prominent in COD ever since. I want to say like Modern Warfare 3 or something like that. But sniping is back, and I don't enjoy it personally. But I know that there's a big people that that like sniping, so I'm not gonna hate on it at all. Play how you want to play, whatever. I don't really care. But I do find it a little bit rage inducing. But hey, what are you gonna do? Just know that if you guys have not played Infinite Warfare, just know that sniping is back, and that you will be sniped a lot in this game potentially. Number 4 is one of the biggest issues I have with this game, and that is the maps. The maps are really bad. The maps are COD Ghost bad, and granted, we only have 4, right? We have only played on 4 maps in the beta, I will give it that. There are probably a lot more other maps that are going to be on the game that are probably going to be a little bit better, but based off of what we've played so far, these maps are really bad. They suck. They make no sense at all. Not even like the actual, environments really make sense. Like just the layout of the maps don't make any sense at all. There's random buildings in the middle, there's random gaps in the buildings where you jump through. It just doesn't make any sense. Like, okay, I get, it was supposed to, conform to the gameplay. I totally understand that, but at least make the maps make sense. Like the maps just don't make any sense at all whatsoever in this game, and I don't really find them enjoyable at all. There are some that I find tolerable. I will say that. There are maps that I can utilize to a degree. And I have a certain flow and certain ways I like to play the maps. I will give it that, but it's just that overall the maps are pretty bad in my opinion. Next up, we're going to talk about number 5, and that is the lethal and tactical slots in the creator class. Now, this doesn't make any sense to me, okay? Now, there is just a bunch of unnecessary things in this game. There are a bunch of unnecessary tacticals and lethals that I feel like no one will use. And and granted, there was a lot of this in old CODs. I will say that, like, for example, Black Ops 1, the camera spike. Nobody used a camera spike, but just beside the point, like there are, I feel like there's just too much unnecessary crap just for crap to be there in the tactical and lethal slots. And it's also costing lethals and tacticals that I would rather have. Like, for example, there is no standard grenade in this game. there is no frag grenade. It is either a grenade that splits off into a bunch of other grenades, or it's a grenade that, you know, has some plasma juice that spews out. Like, there is no regular standard frag grenade, and that just doesn't make any sense to me. How do you not have a regular standard frag grenade? Hashtag save the frag grenade 2016. Let's go, bring the back. But I just think, you know, that is, you know, pretty, you know, dumb in my opinion. Like, how is there not a regular frag grenade? Now, I've said a lot of bad things about the game, but I will say one good thing, and that is the camos. The camos in this game are very good. As we saw back in Black Ops 3, those were kind of weird because it would only cover like 3/4 of the gun, or, you know, there's times where it was only half the gun. Like, you know, there were just a lot of times where just those Black Ops 3 camos were just not good. You know, they just weren't, you know, as, you know, good as they used to be. But this, they cover the entire gun in this game. You know, the camos are really cool, and they're vibrant, and they're fun, and they actually do, you know, cover the entire gun. I will say that. So, you know, that is a very good step forward in the camo department, because we've been kind of lacking these past few Call of Duties. But I'm glad to see the camos making a return. Another new addition to the game that I enjoyed was bullet point number 7, and that is teams. Now, teams are basically like, you know, these teams that you get in MP where you can choose them and then you work towards your team, right? So all your points that you do, everything that you do in game is working towards a cumulative goal with your team, right? And you know, it is kind of like Pokemon Go, how there's, you know, Team Valor and Team, you know, Mystic, whatever. It is kind of like that, right? And basically what they did with this is they brought in the field orders from Ghost that I liked personally. I love the field orders, but they brought that and meshed it with the team so that we still have field orders, right? And they're basically just like missing team objectives, and I feel like those are a great addition to the game. I feel like those are awesome in my opinion. You know, it just gives you a little bit, you know, extra to do in game. You know, if you see in the top corner, you know, you have to get 2 kills with a pistol, you know, and you get extra points over, you know, it's just a nice incentive. It's, you know, a nice thing, you know, to just change up the game, give us something different to do in game rather than do the same repetitive things that we always do in Call of Duty. And I really do like the addition of that, so I really do feel like that is a definite positive. And number 8 is probably arguably the best addition to the game and the best fix to the game overall. Now, as we all know, supply drops have been a big thing in Call of Duty, a big controversy in Call of Duty, but this game took steps, you know, to make the situation way better than it used to be, okay? So now what it is that you earn a different type of points in game, right? So you earn your keys to get supply drops, then you earn this other type of gear looking thing that I forgot, you know, what it's called, but you use these gear points. I guess you know, I'll just call them that, gear points, right? So you use gear points to be able to unlock different variants of a specific gun, rather than having to rely on luck, you know, through the drops, right? So I feel like this is definitely a great addition and a great step forward in the right direction towards the drop issue, and that this, you know, allows you, you know, to get the specific variants that you want on a gun that you want, right? But there is some catches to it. You cannot unlock the epic version automatically. You have to go through common, legendary, rare, and then the epic, which will be the last variant of the gun. It will be the best variant of the gun. So you have to buy all the other 3 before you can get the epic version, which is a fair trade-off. You know, it's fine. You know what I'm saying? So that way, you know, there is some work you have to do. It's not just going to be where you can just buy it. There is some work you have to do, but you can still rely on the drops if you like that type of fashion thing. I know a lot of people don't, but if you like supply drops, you can still, you know, buy supply drops as you used to in the old Call of Duties and get guns through luck of the draw. Going on to number 9, I wrote down shoot first and die. Now, this is another issue in the game I have, where I don't know if it's my connection. I have reset my router and everything a bunch of times. I have a pretty good internet connection. You know, it's not anything top tier, but it is pretty one of the mill. You know, it is pretty, you know, average, I would say, pretty much above average, I would say. You know, it's a pretty good internet connection I have here in Arizona. But I have found myself in game having, you know, shots on a target first and then them killing me right after I laid shots on them first, right? So that happens a lot in this game, and I don't know if it's my end or if it's just the code right now or if it's just a beta thing, but I have experienced that a lot, and I know a lot of my other friends have been experiencing that too. So that is another issue I see in the game, where there is definitely a issue with the gun battles in this game. And number 10 is the rigs. Now, the rigs, okay, look, I'm gonna be honest here. Look, the rigs, I'm not sure how I feel about them, okay? I did not have an issue with Black Ops 3, you know, with those type of things with rigs. But in this game, they just seem kind of overdone. They seem a little bit too cheesy, they seem a little bit too corny, they seem a little bit too, extra, if you will. Like, they just seem a little extra, right? It just, there's, the whole thing with the panther thing where you turn into a freaking dog, you go around, and honestly, in game, that is not as bad as it sounded. It is not as bad in game. They have the same health as if they were standing up as a regular soldier, so it's not that bad. But there's just a bunch of other, rigs that I just find really, really cheesy and corny. Like, there's some that, there is the claw for one thing. Now, the claw, I use that the majority of the beta, pretty much all the beta, I use the claw. And that claw is a little bit, too much for me. It is a little bit too unfair, in my opinion. I'm getting way too easy kills that I shouldn't be getting. But, just because I have this, specialist that I got, it just, I don't know. But granted, the same can be said about Black Ops 3, and I never had an issue with the Black Ops 3 specialist. So I don't know if it's just my, negative connotation with all the other things that I've been seeing that are negative in the game, or if it's just that these rigs are just completely out of, blown out of whack. But I'm not sure how to feel about these rigs overall. So yeah, I mean, look, overall, the game is getting a lot of hate. It's getting, a lot of backlash. A lot of people don't like the game, but I will please advise you all, if you're watching this video and you have not played Infinite Warfare, please just play the beta, okay? The beta is having another weekend, next weekend. It will be on Xbox One and the PlayStation 4, so you'll be able to get your hands on it. I would advise you please go play the beta at least, and give yourself a try, because there's a lot of people, saying a bunch of negative things about it, and I would agree. I was a little bit negative on the game, but I don't think it's nearly as bad as everyone is making it out to be. Granted, I only have about 7 hours of game time in this, there is that thing, but I will say, just from my personal opinion, I love playing hours on end on this game. I feel like it's not as bad as everyone thinks it is. And on that note, that is my time. If you guys enjoyed the content, make sure down below to leave a like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I appreciate all of you guys give me, all of it. I appreciate all of it. Also, down below in the description, you can find my Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, all the good stuff where you can follow me on there. Also, leave me some comments if you guys have played Infinite Warfare. Do you guys like it? Do you guys hate it? Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and as always, I got you.